everybody. I am back to do another spread here in my Gorgeous Girl a Month challenge. If you remember my last one that I did, the lovely, it left that page pretty warped because I used a lot of watercolor onto just plain, I think, copier paper that little booklet is made of. So the back of that one page is totally thin and warped, and it's not going to take much to ruin it. So what I've decided to do here is add just one layer of like a napkin that I pulled one layer of the tissue paper off of, and so I'm going to just add a little bit of bulk to this page so that it could take what I'm about to do to it. So this month I'm using that the Fox Gorgeous Girl from Santoro. And I decided to do a double page spread because it has a lot of elements in it, and I thought, well, let's see if we can use all the elements in that stamp set. Usually I buy a stamp set and I just never use the other elements, and I kind of challenged myself this month to use them all. So I applied Mod Podge down on the paper first, and then I added the tissue paper on, or the napkin paper on, and then I'm now just like I press it down first with a brush, and then I apply like a really thin, like almost a dry brush on top of it to seal it, so that it doesn't soak up what I'm about to do to it next. So just drawing that up now, and yeah, that's good to go. So I then decide that I want to add gesso because can't really work on when Mod Podge dries, it's like a really slick surface and nothing holds on to it, right? So I added some of this gesso as a primer so that it has some tooth to take the coloring that I'm about to add to the background now. So here are all the elements in that stamp set. I think there's something like 11, and I'm just lining them up here in a row just to see how I'm going to set up my scene. I grab one of those Diane Reevely scribble sticks, and it looks like really limey green here, but it's a little bit darker than that. And I learned this time, I'm not going to put a whole lot of soaking water on there. I grabbed some wet wipes, and just like that, they really activate nicely with, and these wet wipes are not new. They've been old, sitting there in a Ziploc bag. But all you need to do is just add a little bit of wetness, and they activate really, really nicely. So I'm just creating just a quick colored background here. And remember, because I've got the tissue paper down and the gesso down, it's quite bumpy. It's not a smooth surface, and some areas are taking the color a lot more than other areas, and I'm also specifically concentrating on the edges. So I've also got black there as well. When you put black around something, it really makes it pop and it just gives it more definition, so I've done that now. Okay, so I've got a stencil here. It's a stencil by Cadence, brand new one I bought at the craft show this year. A script stencil. I don't have a script stencil, so I thought I'd give it a try. I also have this Prima acrylic vintage rose, really thick pot, and I thought, oh, I love this, I want to use it, it's really thick and it's going to go really well in the stencil, and it didn't. It just kind of glooped. So then I thought, okay, that's fine, I'll just put it through the stencil and it'll just be like this really pretty vintage rose pattern coming through, and I didn't like it. It's too sheeny. I didn't do what I wanted it to do, so I thought, okay, I'll grab some texture paste, I'll make a nice little taste, and I'll paste, sorry, and I'll put it through the stencil so it's like a raised like element in the background, and it looks alright. I think I probably shouldn't have used it in hindsight. It's pink and it's iridescent, and kind of like, I think I'm going for a grungy look. You'll see a little bit later what I do. And the pink doesn't really add any more element. Like, it's okay here. I just let it go. Um, it was something that I thought would work, but didn't, because I never really didn't really know what I was doing. I was just trying to use elements, brand new elements that I had. But it's fine. It's fine. It's not too bad. So after I dry that up, I'm now thinking about how I'm going to set up what I'm going to need. So I grab my stamping tool and I'm just cutting up some paper. This is Nina Solar White cardstock. Pretty good for stamping. I use my archival ink, and I thought I'd leave this. So foam stamp, you take the foam from the inside, and this is a rubber stamp, right? These Santoro, and they don't, like, you'll see what happens now. It, okay, so holding on, yep. So stamping, double stamping, so that's really good. I get a good image with that one. But you'll see in a little bit, again, and it happens with these foxes, I just have a problem with the the rubber stamps losing their cling onto whatever surface I use. So it happens here again with the fox, I think. I try to move it and he just kind of falls off, so I leave him off, and then yeah, I just kind of put him down there and I stamp on that way. I think it happens again. Yeah, it happens again here. So I just put it down, and yeah, so I just use that double-sided tape to hold them down. So it's a little bit strange, and I might have to have a look and see, you know, if the back of the rubber stamps has some stuff on it. Like, maybe I'll have to treat it with something. Happens again here with stars, and I'm like, I'm just over this. I'm gonna get my acrylic block out and just stamp those stars out myself. They're not really too intricate. They can just get stamped with an acrylic block, and usually just one stamp will do it. So I've gone to go get some colors here, and I grabbed my Prima. I love this. This is the Classics set, and it's just got every color you need. And I'm pretty much just imitating the image on the back of the stamp by Santoro, or by, you know, Suzanne Wolcott, who is the artist who has the rights to these stamps. I think she's really gorgeous, and I really want to just do her justice, so I'm just gonna copy the original, how the fox is supposed to be. And yeah, just pretty basic here. So just using brown on the hair, and come in really strong in the beginning, and then as you lose the pigment, I go back to the original and just blend it out to a lighter brown. So pretty boring here, so I think I might, yep, so I'm gonna skip it. Okay, so her hair is done here, and I grabbed this, I've had this Prima watercolor resist pen, and she's got stars on her dress, so I'm just going to keep them white. So I just put a little blob on each of the stars, and then I can, you have to dry it, really quickly dry it, or allow it to dry. Don't dry it because it's gonna bubble up and be awful. But yeah, allow it to dry, and then you can go ahead with your color. And I actually skipped most of this because watching coloring is painful for me. I didn't want to do that to you. And I'm just going in now and just adding just darkness, darker values around the shadowy areas. Any areas that are recessed get shadow. Alright, so did the same with the foxes, and next stage now is just to fussy cut it all out. So I think I'm going to save you that torture. And yes, here we go. So so yeah, love this huge stamp here, and I'm just going to add some borders, and you can watch how Mira doesn't know how to stamp very well. This is the problem I have with that stamping. with stamping in general, and that's why I bought my stamping tool. It's because I never get a good freaking stamp. So, I decided, hey, what the heck, this is grungy. Let's just double stamp and really, really work on those vines in the corner there. So I do it, and it's still not good. And you know what? It's not just me. Remember that background is lumpy and bumpy from gesso and the tissue paper. So it's not just me. I'm not really that crap. All right, so I have this other stencil that I bought. And I love the part in the middle there that says, dream big, stay calm. So I thought, wow, that's a really nice sentiment to put in there. So I thought, oh, what I'll do is I'll, use gesso. I'll use gesso and put it in there. No, sorry, not gesso. I think I used texture paste. Yes, that's right, texture paste. And then I made it nice and thick and slathered it on. And I really didn't like this. I even think I put it on just a tad bit crooked, and I didn't like what happened here. So I went, holy crap, what more can go wrong here? So I thought, you know what? I'd just leave it. Ignore it, totally ignore it. Let's work on the other page first. So I thought I could stamp some of those leaves. I tried it with the archival ink, and it's way too strong, so I grabbed some of these Tim Holtz inks, and I think that's Mowed Lawn, and I just decided to do a quick underlay with green. So I kind of stamp it all around the bottom there, and it looks good. I like it. And I'm going to do it up the top here too. And I thought, well, I might as well do it there too. And all around, all over the place. She's looking good. She's looking like she's in a like a garden scene. Fox in the garden. That's all cool. So yeah, just drying up that ink because it is sitting on a gesso background. So it's kind of pooling, and it's quite juicy. I hardly use these things, so they're still got a lot of ink in there. So just drying it all up here. Now, so what I decided to do was cut out some of, so I stamped them onto another piece of paper, and they just stamp black, and there's lots of little white left over as you fussy cut them out. So I thought I'll just color them in with green so that they look like they're kind of in the green that I stamped on the page there. So I'm just going in now and coloring with green, and I also decide to just ink the edges of each one just to give, because it's going to be like a collage of leaves, so these ones that I add on top will just be a little bit more prominent and distinguished by their black border. And as I'm doing this, I'm thinking, geez, this is really not very comfortable. There must be a nicer way, or a quicker way, or a more comfortable way of adding black border around than this method using my big fat archival ink pad. So you try to get into the corners, and I'm trying to go on the edge and moving the leaves, and I'm thinking to myself, this is a lot of work. And look how many little pieces there are, and oh my goodness. You think maybe I'm a lazy artist? I don't know. Alright, so I get through it in the end. You have to really push through. And I'm just grabbing my gel medium here, and I'm now going to start putting them in. So I put the foxes through. I love those two guys. They are too cute. They are just two little foxes playing in the garden. So they go on really nicely. And I love using my palette knife. It's pretty cool. So I then grab the rest of the leaves, and I just put them in this formation, just adding them there. at the top, and I'm also adding some in the bottom. Sorry, excuse me. I know I'm out of I'm out of scene here. I will move it up in a second. So I just kind of place them around the foxes. Um, Looks good. I've got to get some more gel medium. Look how empty it is. Okay, so all those have done, and so I decided what I would do on the other side is grab some of the stars from the stamp set, and I basically stamped one on there to see what it looked like. And I'm telling you, this is why I don't like stamping. I always stamp like onto the, like the residue around the stamp goes on the paper, and I thought, oh my goodness, no, I'm going to stamp them out onto white paper and then fussy cut them out. So I stamped them onto the paper, and Cadbury says hello to everybody, and I stamped them on the paper, and I'm just coloring them in now with some of the Prima colors, and this is just a gray color. I thought I'd just emulate the stamp in the set. And after coloring, you need to fussy cut them out, and all those little stars, yes, I did fussy cut them out. So I think I'll save you that, and we'll just move along. Okay, and here we go. Amira found a way to edge without a stamp pad. I got up and I got my alcohol markers, and I found a better way to do it. I just, yeah, no more said. So yeah, so they're all done, and so my idea was to cover up that original texture paste that I did. And if you have a look, that Dream Big Sentiment that I stenciled on, I actually tried rubbing a little bit of ink gold on it, and just wasn't any better. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to put something on top, which is why I found the stars, and I decided to do the stars on top of it. So the stars are now gonna go all around her in a pretty formation on top of that gold stencil, and I'm kind of alternating the big ones and then the small ones and some of the black ones as well, just to make it a little bit more interesting. And that day Cadbury was just in need of lots of cuddles, so he was sitting on my lap as I was doing this. I decided to put some more leaves down the bottom there. Felt like it was maybe a little bit just bare around her feet, so just so that she wasn't floating up in the air, she was more grounded. So that's looking really good. Alright, so the next thing is I grabbed some of this script stamp, and I tried doing it with the gray ink, just so that it didn't, like, it was more faint, subtle in the back there. And I grabbed that stencil again, and I thought, okay, I'm just going to use the black, and the black's just going to make it pop a bit better, and I used my sponge dauber, and I really don't like how it turned out. I'm not sure about the stencil now. Hopefully I'll find a way of using it, but at the moment I don't like stenciling through it. It's too small, and I don't know, maybe it's just not good here. Anyway, so I ink around the outside, and it looks almost done. And then I decide, oh, I want to add some ink, white, like, splatter marks, I guess. So a little bit of white paint there, and then a little bit of water, and I'm just dabbing it just so that you can add a little bit more, I don't know, texture or marks in the background to make it look arty, maybe. I don't know. I covered her face with a tissue so it didn't go on any of the colors. And look at that, I still got splatters on her face. I don't know how I did that. Now it's time for that water resist pen to come off, and you can see the little stars in her dress are like really white. I then grabbed some of this Bow Bunny glitter paste, and I like it. It's really nice. On top of the black, it looks really nice. I add a little bit into the stars, so it looks like the stars are shining gold, and that's really cute. So I like that extra touch. And I'm pretty much done here. Oh, that's right. I decided that I didn't like the water marks because they were not so watery. So I decided to grab that Nouveau white, and I just put little blobs all over my page, just to add a little bit of extra. And I hate what I did here. I hate what I did right here. I put some of the pink Nouveau on her cheeks, and I remember thinking, oh, that doesn't look good, but let's just wait. And I shouldn't have waited. I should have wiped it off straight away because it dried on there pretty fast. And she just looks like she has saggy cheeks. I'm so sorry. um, I ruined it right there. So then I go on with this Picot Embellisher. I love this stuff. It's a raised 3D formula. And so I added it along where the border has those scribbles. And oh goodness, more with the Nouveau. Okay, so I grabbed some green Nouveau and I added it to some of the leaves just to give even more dimension there. And I think, please be done now. Did I add even more stuff? No, that's it. I'm done. Oh, those cheeks. That's all I see now. What a shame. But anyway, this is my page. And there's the pink. It actually isn't bad in the end. I'm so negative. It's not too bad. Stay calm and dream big with the fox. Thank you so much for joining me, everybody. I hope you have a lovely day.